Well, that's the Georgia team and Carsen Beck. I think we was expecting to see all year. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. Dugai, coming at y'all with another episode of Drop It Downs with Mr. Dugai. And tonight I'm going to talk about tonight's SEC showdown as you had the Georgia Bulldogs beating the Tennessee Volunteers 31-17. Before I get into this video, man, big thanks to all my channel donors. If you want to be a channel donor, my Cash App information is down in the description box. My social media is down in the description box. I co-host a sports talk radio show every Sunday. That information is down in the description box. If you're a subscriber to the channel, greatly appreciate the love and support. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification button, like the video, and share it with your folks. Georgia gets it done, man. 31-17. Tennessee started off hot, had a 10-0 lead, had Georgia kind of looking like, uh-oh, Carsen Beck finally looked like the guy preseason that was projected to be a top pick in the draft. He played well tonight, man. I got to give him credit, yo. I've been critical of him as late with all the interceptions he's been throwing, but tonight, I mean, he showed the full arsenal. I mean, he made good, accurate throws. He showed his arm strength. He showed his accuracy, and he showed his mobility, and he showed his leadership. You could tell he came out with a different juice tonight. Um, Look, that was a really good Tennessee defense they went up against. And you got to give him, you got to get a coach and staff, the receivers, the linemen, the skill position players. You got to give them all a lot of credit. I think Tennessee hasn't given up 20 points in the game all year. And Georgia, like I said, after falling behind 10-0, they came out there and they was real efficient offensively. And didn't really have turnovers like that, And I don't think Beck threw an interception, if I don't remember so or whatever. But yeah, he took care of the ball, man. In Tennessee, tough loss, hard fought game, man. They fought hard, they competed. Dylan Sampson, had a really good night. Nico looks a little better, looks more mature, as the season is progressing. They just ran into a desperate team on the road. Georgia lose this game, man. Georgia ain't going to no playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And Georgia's whole season was predicated on competing for a national championship. Anything short of that was an absolute failure. So Tennessee just ran into a hungry Georgia, a hungry dog, that desperately needed a win. And for Georgia, their SEC schedule is done. I think they got UMass and Georgia Tech left. And look, I think Georgia gonna end up in the playoffs, man. I don't know how the whole SEC championship thing gonna work out, but I think Georgia end up in the playoff. Not only do I look at Georgia, like out of every team that I've seen up to this point, I still feel like if they're playing their absolute best, Georgia is the one team that I think nobody could beat. If they're playing their absolute best. Obviously they don't always do that. I don't think everybody always do that. But if you put everybody's best against each other, I think Georgia is the best team in the country. But we'll see. They had three. None of these contending teams could sit there and say they had three harder road games than Georgia. Not neutral site games, pure road games. When you got to go to Alabama, you got to go to Texas, and you got to go to Ole Miss, and not to mention you get Tennessee at home and you get Clemson. Well, I'll call it a home game, though it was at a neutral site in Atlanta. But and Georgia got through that gauntlet, came out with the two losses, but I still think they're a playoff team. And as for Tennessee, we're gonna see. I think the SEC get 4 teams in. I think the Texas A&M winner get in. I think assuming, and I'm assuming the favorites win the rest of the game. I think the Texas A&M winner get in. I think Alabama get in. I think Ole Miss get in. And in Georgia, I believe. But Tennessee has a case. Tennessee beat Alabama, so there's that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how the committee gonna do it, man. Obviously, this gonna be all of our first times. Seeing how that whole process gonna go down. But it's gonna be interesting, man, because Tennessee gonna have an argument too if they win against Alabama. But we're gonna see what happens the rest of the way. But good win by Georgia. But with that being said, man, that's all I got for y'all tonight. Appreciate y'all checking out the video. Hit the like button for your boy. Give me a subscribe and have LSU, NCAA, and content of my other teams throughout the year. Y'all have a blessed one. Go Tigers.